In the summer of 1955, a 14-year-old boy boarded a train from Chicago to Mississippi to visit family. His name was Emmett Till. He packed like any kid going on a summer trip: clothes, stories, jokes, a little swagger. His mother, Mamie Till Mobley, gave him the usual reminders. Mind your manners, call when you arrive. But she also gave him another warning, one that black parents in the 1950s often had to give. The South had different rules, and those rules could be dangerous. Emmett had grown up in Chicago, surrounded by family and city life. He was known for his humor and his confidence. He was the kind of kid who filled a room with energy without trying. When he arrived in Mississippi, he was stepping into a world where the color of his skin carried risks he hadn't fully lived yet. One afternoon, Emmett and his cousins went to a small grocery store in a town called Money, Mississippi. What happened there has been debated and distorted for decades. But what followed is not in dispute. A few nights later, two white men came to the house where Emmett was staying. They took him in the middle of the night. He did not return. Days later, his body was found in the Tallahatchie River. The violence was meant to be a warning, not just to one family, but to an entire community. It was meant to scare people into silence. But then his mother made a decision that changed everything. When Emmett's body was brought back to Chicago, Mamie Till Mobley insisted on an open casket funeral. She wanted the world to see what hatred had done to her son. She refused to let his death be hidden or softened. Thousands came to pay respects. Photographs from the funeral were published in black newspapers and magazines, and those images traveled across the country. People who had been able to look away from racial violence were suddenly confronted with it. This wasn't an abstract headline anymore. This was a child, a real face, a real family. Then came the trial. The men accused of killing Emmett Till stood before an all-white jury in Mississippi. The verdict came back quickly: not guilty. Months later, protected by double jeopardy laws, the same men admitted their involvement in a magazine interview. Justice was denied in the courtroom, but something else had already happened outside of it. Silence had been broken. Emmett Till did not grow up to lead marches or give speeches. He never chose to be a symbol. But his story ignited a national conversation that helped fuel the civil rights movement. Activists, students, and everyday citizens pointed to his name as proof that change could not wait, that the cost of inaction was too high. He was 14 years old. He was loved. And because his mother refused to let the truth be buried with him, the country was forced to confront what it had allowed for far too long. Emmett Till's legacy isn't only about tragedy. It's about the power of visibility, the courage of a mother, and the moment a private loss became a public turning point. His life was short, but the impact of his story continues to echo. A reminder that history is not only shaped by those who speak loudly, but also by those whose silence is finally broken.